For today's Business Matters, General Motors says new tariffs cost the company more than $1 billion last quarter, and profits during that time fell more than a third. Its car sales were down 2%. The company says it's working to adapt to new trade and tax policies. It's investing $4 billion to increase production of some vehicles in the U.S., making it less susceptible to tariffs. General Motors said it has no immediate plans to raise prices in specific response to tariff costs. And Coca-Cola is releasing a new beverage product with cane sugar. The drink will launch this fall and will be sold in addition to Coke's standard product, which uses high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is a more common and less expensive sweetener in the U.S. The move follows a social media post from President Trump last week, which said he had persuaded the soft drink giant to use cane sugar in its Coca-Cola drinks. Some versions of Coca-Cola already use cane sugar, including those bottled in Mexico. Target is changing its price match policy. The policy let customers get a refund for the price difference of a product found cheaper on Amazon, Walmart, or at a Target store within 14 days of purchase. But starting next Monday, price match will only apply to items found cheaper at Target stores or websites. Target launched its price matching policy in 2013. Amazon doesn't have one, and Walmart ended theirs in 2019. Target just went through a rough quarter, with sales at stores open for at least a year falling off nearly 4% compared to the same quarter a year ago. A new sweeping cyber espionage campaign uncovered linked to Chinese hackers involving Violet Typhoon, Linen Typhoon, and Storm 2603. Microsoft has confirmed the groups exploited a bug in its customer-managed SharePoint servers. The popular software allows organizations to store and share internal documents. Through the bug, attackers can remotely plant malware and access stored files and other systems on the same network. Internet scanning firms found roughly 100 organizations across the globe have been affected so far. The chief technology officer at Google warned that multiple bad actors are now likely exploiting this vulnerability. Microsoft has rolled out patches. It failed to fix one software bug on the server earlier this month and has been able to offer only partial solutions for additional bugs. U.S. government investigators say the hacking campaign may have impacted multiple federal agencies. A front-page story for the LA Times. The 143-year-old publication has announced plans to go public. In a TV interview, owner Patrick Soon-Shiong said he plans to, quote, take LA Times public and allow it to be democratized. He explained the model would be resembling the public ownership structure of the NFL's Green Bay Packers. A partner organization is working on the structure. The move comes after months of turmoil at the LA Times. After continued financial losses and leadership exits, the paper laid off at least 20% of its newsroom last January. At the time, Soon-Shiong said the paper was losing up to $40 million annually. The goal is to go public within the next year. AstraZeneca says it plans to invest $50 billion in the U.S. by 2030. The Anglo-Swedish drug giant said the money will fund a new factory in Virginia and expand facilities in other states, including California. Here's more.
It's the latest big player to make a move as Donald Trump's threat of tariffs hangs over the pharmaceutical industry. He's also pushing companies to make more of their products in the US. And he wants American drug costs to fall to levels seen elsewhere in the world. Announcing the investment plans, AstraZeneca chief Pascal Soriot said prices did need to equalize. He said drug charges elsewhere would have to rise, so that other countries contribute more to research and development costs. In a statement issued by the company, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said Trump's tariffs will end America's long reliance on imported medicines. AstraZeneca's investment follows similar moves by European rivals like Roche, Sanofi and Novartis. US players including Eli Lilly have also stepped up domestic spending. AstraZeneca says its plan will create tens of thousands of new jobs, without giving a specific number.
Kohls shares have been flying off the rack. Shares of the U.S. department store chain more than doubled in value today. This made it one of the most traded stocks on retail trading platforms, but the jump triggered a trading halt. By 10 a.m. Eastern Time, about 87 million shares had changed hands. This is 11 times its 25-day moving average volume. The frenzy was reminiscent of the meme stock rally in 2021, with highly shorted retail favorites like GameStop and AMC. Kohls became the #1 trending ticker on retailer investor forum StockWits. LSEG data shows about half of Kohls' outstanding shares available for trading are shorted. Trading later resumed, and the stock was up by almost 40% at market close. The world's largest music company is one step closer to selling its shares in the U.S. At the same time, European antitrust regulators are concerned over the company's plans to acquire a rival firm. Here's more.
Taylor Swift, Drake, and Billie Eilish, some of the biggest names in music, all under the roof of Universal Music Group. The music titan announced that it filed a confidential statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission for a public offering in the U.S. The company, already listed in the Netherlands, did not reveal the size of the planned offering. One of its biggest shareholders, hedge fund Pershing Square, led by billionaire investor Bill Ackman, had pushed for the firm to list in the U.S. The global music conglomerate owns major record labels, including Motown Records. UMG is also the parent company of Virgin Music Group, which is in the middle of a $775 million acquisition of Downtown Music. EU antitrust regulators are warning this may hinder competition, and UMG would have the ability and incentive to use sensitive data for its own business. Virgin Music Group said this was a misrepresentation and that it would work with the European Commission on the acquisition.
A recent investigation indicates that Chinese electric vehicle brands Zeekr and Neta inflated sales to hit aggressive targets. That's according to documents reviewed by Reuters and interviews with dealers and buyers. Documents from recent years show both companies arranged for cars to be insured before they were sold to buyers. Reuters sources said this enabled them to book sales early under Chinese industry car registration practices, so they could hit monthly and quarterly targets. Documents show Neta used this method for over 64,000 cars. Reuters interviewees said premium EV brand Zeekr used the same method to book early sales in late 2024. The practice has emerged out of cutthroat competition for sales in China. Looking to get away this summer? Right now, you can find some great deals for the Caribbean. But if you're looking to travel to destinations like Europe or Asia, it's best to book ahead now for a fall vacation. Here are some more travel saving tips.
The summer months can be the best time of year to score some sizzling deals on island getaways. And Expedia recently came out with their Island Hot List for 2025 to help you narrow down where to visit. The top 10 list features destinations as close as Jamaica and as far away as the Maldives. Expedia travel expert Melanie Fish recommends visiting multiple islands to maximize your trip.
Whether you're going to Thailand, whether you're going to Fiji, whether you're going to Hawaii, take the time to visit several different islands so you can get a taste of the different cultures.
Visiting during off-season months can save you a lot of money. Some of the islands in Greece and Italy dropped their prices by as much as 35% in September versus August, according to Expedia. And the average price for a night's stay can drop by as much as 50% when visiting during off-peak months like early spring and fall. So now is the perfect time to book an autumn vacation overseas. But if you're looking to travel closer to home this summer, you can score some great discounts on several Caribbean destinations because it's not as popular to visit during the summer. But remember, it is hurricane season.
You need to be super careful because trip insurance doesn't always cover severe weather. For example, it typically doesn't cover a hurricane once it's been named.
Fish also recommends signing up for flight alerts, which notify you when airfare drops. Sites like Expedia, Booking.com, and Kayak offer that feature.
WNBA AllStar game viewership dropped to an average of 2.2 million viewers this year, from a record 3.4 million on ESPN in 2024. Even as the annual showcase was the most watched program of Saturday night across TV. The 2024 affair had the benefit of the widely popular Indiana Fever sharpshooter Caitlin Clark and a dramatic format that pitted the U.S. Olympic team against the AllStars, who were snubbed from the Team USA roster. Clark was expected to be one of the biggest attractions for the game in her home market of Indianapolis, but dropped out days before due to an injury. It was still the second most watched All-Star game in league history. But viewership for Friday's skills and three-point contests were up 89% over the previous year. With the new Fantastic Four movie heading to theaters this weekend, let's take a look back at the movie history of the heroic Marvel family.
We all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
The Fantastic Four First Steps is the latest big-screen incarnation of Marvel Comics' first family.
Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing.
But of the quartet of Fantastic Four films that came before it, only 3 made it to theaters.
They become the most powerful superheroes of all time.
1994's The Fantastic Four never received an official release. Its story is explored in the 2015 documentary Doomed: The Untold Story of Roger Corman's The Fantastic Four.
You know that look cool.
2005 did see the release of Fantastic Four starring Chris Evans and Jessica Alba. It was followed 2 years later by Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
You should use these powers to help people.
20th Century Fox tried rebooting the franchise with a new cast in 2015, but the movie went on to be the lowest grossing of the studio's Fantastic Four films.
I herald Galactus.
The franchise is now part of Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Pedro Pascal leading the team against an intergalactic threat.
Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
Onto markets. Wall Street ended mixed today as investors weighed corporate earnings and U.S. trade policy. General Motors fell sharply after revealing a $1 billion tariff hit to its quarterly results. Tesla gained ahead of its earnings report. While other tech giants like Meta and Microsoft slipped, Alphabet also rose ahead of its own report. Optimism around AI spending continued to support the broader market, keeping the S&P 500 near record highs. Trade tensions remain a key concern, and analysts are projecting a 7% earnings increase for S&P 500 firms, largely driven by tech. And that's it today for Business Matters.